Respondents across the state and found that about 84.55% believe elections in India are conducted freely and fairly. Trust in electronic voting machines has also risen, increasing from 77.9% in 2023 to 83.61% after the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. We have reactions pouring in on this matter. Have a look.
Rahul Gandhi's vote chori lie, election commission lie has been fact-checked by his own government in Karnataka. His atom bomb, hydrogen bomb has been diffused by his own government. Today, we are seeing that a survey conducted by the Karnataka state government of Congress party shows that a maximum number of people, majority of the people, over 84%, believe that elections and election commission is free and fair. And they believe that EVMs are working perfectly. This is a life-size reality check. I think Karnataka government of Sabarimala ji and Shivakumar ji have done it deliberately because they are also tired and fed up of the lies Rahul Gandhi says. Rahul Gandhi is LOP, leader of propaganda. He's the modern day Pinocchio who keeps lying.
Going across to Harish Upadhyay, who joins us with more details. Good morning, Harish. How do you look at this? The Bharatiya Janata Party, of course, using the notings of the CO survey in taking pot shots at the Congress. In fact, the Bharatiya Janata Party says that the Chief Minister of Karnataka was also in favour of the electoral process, thereby is giving into this entire narrative. But that having said, how do you look at it overall, especially in terms of how the Congress has responded so far to it?
Well, perhaps one can expect the Congress party to highlight the fact that this is a survey that was commissioned by the Chief Electoral Officer who comes under the Election Commission. We've seen the Congress consistently going ahead and accusing the Election Commission of being party with the BJP and rigging the whole process. But this is a survey carried out by a third-party agency, commissioned by the Election Commission, the report published by an entity that comes under the Department of Planning of Karnataka government. What needs to be highlighted here is that the findings indicate that the trust in the election process, the fairness of EVM is something that has gone up. And not just that, more significantly, Christine, the Kalburgi division, that's where Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge comes from, the Congress chairperson. That's the place that has the highest trust in EVM in the election process, according to this data. And this is not a sample of just a few hundred people. It's a bigger sample carried out across 102 constituencies in different revenue divisions of Karnataka. So the Election Commission and the Chief Electoral Officer would like to perhaps articulate saying that this reflects a much wider perception in Karnataka. But the Congress party, perhaps, which now is embarrassed that a state department itself has published this, could possibly highlight the fact that this was a survey that was commissioned by the Election Commission itself through its Chief Electoral Officer in Karnataka.
And interestingly, one of Congress's major campaigns against the Election Commission were also stemming from the allegations that they made in relation to elections in Karnataka. So tell us a little bit about, take us back in time and tell us a little bit about what that allegation was all about. Harish, I'll come back to you in just a bit. We do have BJP's Ashok Gowda with us on the phone line. Mr. Gowda, your thoughts here. A Karnataka study finds 91% believe polls are fair, in stark contradiction to allegations that were leveled by the Congress in elections that took place in several states, including in Karnataka.
Absolutely, yes. This was done by Government of Karnataka Planning and Statistics Department in coordination with the Election Commission of Karnataka, which clearly states, all this is clearly stating that 5,100 people are made the survey and 102 assembly constituencies were covered. In this, it is very clear and evident that whatever Congress has assumed or whatever is there in Rahul Gandhi's mind is completely fake and he is not to be believed. And this statement is very clear and evident that Karnataka people, Kannadigas, believe that the elections are held fair and elections are held appropriately, and whatever Congress is saying is far from the truth. So this means that the vote story game, what Congress wants to play, is busted out, and today Congress should introspect, say whatever they say is absolutely, people do not have belief on that.
But would you say that this is directly correlated to, let's say, the Alan voter fraud case, the allegations that were leveled by the Congress? They've been doing press conference after press conference.
Mahadevpura, everything. Not just 1-2 assembly. Every assembly, all 224 assemblies are covered.
Okay, many thanks, Mr. Gowda, for sharing your thoughts with us. Going across to Harish on that note once again. Harish was meaning to ask you about the pointed allegations made by the Congress when they'd done a few press conferences, named a few constituency and alleged voter theft in Karnataka.
Well, remember, now there is onus of the Congress government to prove some of their allegations. They've already filed a charge sheet in the Anand case. But remember, they've now promised to look into other malpractices that have taken place, whether it's in Mahadevpura, which is currently under investigation, or remember, they had raised a huge uproar just before the election, saying that a private agency called the Chilme Trust was involved in work and that had links to the BJP. Now there are indications that the Karnataka government could probe that case once again. We'll have to see if that will happen. There is an ongoing case in the Karnataka High Court related to that. If the government manages to get a clearance from the Karnataka High Court and goes after the Chilme Trust to see if their allegations are true, then perhaps people would say that the Congress government, which had made these allegations, actually probed it. Otherwise, perhaps as the BJP is accusing, it would be seen as just mere propaganda by the Congress. So the onus on the Congress government now to go ahead and ensure that there is a fair probe, and second, that conviction takes place in the court. We've seen in one case the charge sheet has been filed in the Anand case. We'll have to see if the CID can manage to do the same in the Mahadevpura case or even in the Chilme Trust case.
And was meaning to understand from you, Harish, a little while earlier on how the Congress is going to dodge this bullet. So the Bharatiya Janata Party was quick to talk about the observations of the CO survey, say this is what we've been saying all this while, that there is no case made for any sort of voter theft, any sort of vote chori. Allegations that the Congress has been levelling heavily, not just on the Election Commission, has also alleged collusion between BJP and EC. Has the Congress in any sense on social media responded so far to this?
Well, Christine, the Congress hasn't officially responded to this yet, but a couple of leaders that we've been talking to since the morning, they are trying to draw a distinction, saying that this was a survey carried out or commissioned by the Chief Electoral Officer, and people's perception was being captured. They are saying what the Congress has in fact been alleging is a systematic malpractice that has taken place. And it's not clear if the survey went and spoke to people who perhaps one could have been excluded or people whose votes were deleted. And they are saying that it's merely a survey that the CEO commissioned, the Chief Electoral Officer who reports to the Election Commission, commissioned this survey. And this has no link to the allegations being made by the Congress. Those are different set of allegations. And it's not even clear if people who were affected by those alleged malpractices in the electoral process were covered in this survey.
The Bharatiya Janata Party, of course, says that we stand validated because they had spoken of how the Janta of the country, people of the country, have full faith in the electoral process. But this controversy is not limited to Karnataka alone. We've seen this controversy, Harish, play out in Maharashtra and other parts of the country. And the one question that the BJP kept asking is, why do these questions why are these questions raised by the Congress only after a poll defeat? Given that one observation that the BJP has made, so far, how do you see the Congress sensing the Bharatiya Janata Party upping their game over this issue? Because it was first initiated by the Congress. They wanted to turn it on the BJP instead.
Absolutely. Remember, this report will embarrass the Congress government because yes, they can come out and say that this is commissioned by the Chief Electoral Officer, but given the fact that this has been published by a department or an entity that comes under the state government, comes under the Department of Planning and Statistics, many would say that validates the finding of this particular survey because it wasn't put out by the Chief Electoral Officer. It was put out by the entity that comes under the state government, one. Second, as I mentioned, if the Congress government doesn't manage to get a conviction, a legal conviction in some of these cases that are currently under investigation, the investigation started based on allegations being made by the Congress, then many would come out and say that it was just mere propaganda. And we'll have to see. Remember, in the case of Arlan, the investigation picked up pace after Rahul Gandhi mentioned it in his press conference in Delhi. But we'll have to see if the same will happen in the case of Mahadevpura, which again, remember, was part of the allegations being made by Rahul Gandhi, or even the Chilme Trust, which perhaps came in much before the Congress even made vote chori a national-wide issue.
Yeah. indeed has turned out to be a nationwide issue. Hari, stay on with us. Let's also go across to senior journalist R. Rajagopalan, who joins us on the broadcast. Good morning, sir. Just quickly want to read this one bit and understand what your take on this is. This is a report that's been released by Karnataka Monitoring and Evaluation Authority. They surveyed 5,100 respondents across the state and found about 84.55% believe elections in India are conducted freely and fairly. Where does this leave the Congress, given the manner in which they'd been raking this up, not just in Karnataka, rest of the country too?
The Congress government and the Congress party are in a denial mode. Congress party does one thing and Congress government does another thing opposite of it. My understanding is Rahul Gandhi has been fooled by this Karnataka government, especially by Mr. Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivakumar company. Rahul Gandhi, based on the SIT report, he said Madhavpura issue was already mishandled. But now, vote chori business, Rahul Gandhi in the parliament got exposed because the government of India, at least Mr. Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, has given a fitting reply. But the survey what done by the government of Karnataka is something new, and that exposes the Congress party. Whether the government of Karnataka intentionally did it or not, Siddaramaiah intend to expose Rahul Gandhi and ensure that Rajanna, who was asked to resign by Rahul Gandhi, and Rajanna's stance is correct.
Well, Mr. Rajagopalan, there's a slight justification being given, is what we're learning through our colleagues in Karnataka on how they look at this. That having said, there's a lot of proving that the Congress will have to do going forward, especially given the allegations that they've raised in the past. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. With that, we shift our focus to the other big story we've been tracking. Indore, India's cleanest city, is reeling from a devastating water contamination crisis. The tragedy began on Christmas with reports of foul-smelling tap water and has now claimed 14 lives, including a 5-month-old infant. Over 150 residents are battling for their lives in hospitals. Investigations reveal a leaking pipeline beneath a public toilet allowed sewage to seep into the water supply. The state government has suspended 3 officials and dismissed 1 seeking accountability. Shockingly, top sources in Indore Municipal Corporation have revealed that a file to lay a new Narmada water pipeline was prepared in November 2024, but the work order was only passed on 26 December 2025, just as the outbreak was reported. Reactions first up.
बालों को दस्त लगे हुए थे, बुखार आ रहा था, उसको डॉक्टर को हमने दिखाया था। चाइल्ड स्पेशलिस्ट डॉक्टर है, उन्होंने मेडिसिन लिख के दे दी थी, हम घर ले आए थे उसको। तो ये 26 तारीख को दिखाया था हमने। 2 दिन ठीक रहा बच्चा, मतलब ठीक है। अब दस्त लगे तो नर्वस तो होता ही है बच्चा थोड़ा, ये सोच के हमने ठीक है मंडे को दिखा देंगे। रात को अचानक एकदम उसको तेज़ बुखार आया, उल्टी हुई उसको, और वही घर पे हो गया। नॉर्मली जो बच्चों को दस्त डायरिया होता है, जो भी मतलब लगते हैं, अपन तो यही नॉर्मली सोचते हैं। हॉस्पिटल नहीं, अपना क्लिनिक है यहाँ पर, डॉक्टर सिरोंज करके है, 3 पुलिया पे है, उनको ही दिखाया था हमने। उन्होंने मेडिसिन बच्चे का चेकअप करा था और मेडिसिन लिख के दे दी थी।
वही मैं अभी कन्फ्यूज़न में हूँ, क्योंकि सरकारी आंकड़ा अभी भी 4 है। क्योंकि मैं उधर भागीरथपुर में जब घूम के आया तो वहाँ पर 8 हो गया। इसलिए हम देखेंगे कि जो 4 सरकार ने कैसे जोड़े और 4 जो वहाँ के लोग बता रहे हैं वो कैसे हैं। वहाँ के डॉक्टर्स का कहना था कि कुछ नेचुरल डेथ है। हम देख लेंगे, यदि डायरिया से हुई होगी तो उनको भी जो माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी घोषणा के अनुसार राशि दी जाएगी।
कांग्रेस पार्टी, क्या आपने खुद भी एक इसके लिए जांच दल बनाया है?
नहीं, जांच दल तो 5 तारीख को अपनी रिपोर्ट देगा। 2 नगरीय प्रशासन मंत्री उसमें डाले गए हैं। अभी कुछ नहीं दिखता, एक बात दिखती है कि 13 लोगों की मौत हुई और जहरीले पानी से हुई है। और उसके लिए अगर कोई दोषी है तो नगर निगम महापौर और वो कर्मचारी अमला है, उसको इसी वक्त FIR होनी चाहिए उस पर। ये मोहन यादव नहीं करेंगे, बीजेपी नहीं करेगी। अमृत योजना में या अलग अलग देश की योजनाओं के अंतर्गत साल के 1000 करोड़ रुपए पानी की व्यवस्था को लेके आते हैं, फिर भी करप्शन हो जाता है। कि जो मंत्री है नगरीय प्रशासन, उनकी विधानसभा का यह हाल है तो पूरे मध्य प्रदेश का क्या होगा?
And even worse, some lab tests have also confirmed that the outbreak in Indore, which is so far claimed the lives of at least 14 people, several battling for their lives in hospital still, was caused by contaminated drinking water. I do want to go across to Manoj Sharma, who joins us with more details. Manoj, आप बहुत लोगों से वहाँ बात कर रहे हैं, जांच चल रही है, पर ये पाइपलाइन जिसका ऑर्डर, पाइपलाइन बदलने का ऑर्डर अगर 2024 में पास कर दिया गया था, 1 साल का डिले, जब तक ये जाने नहीं गई तब तक फाइनली ऑर्डर को अप्रूवल नहीं दिया गया. इसकी क्या एक्सप्लेनेशन मिल रही है?
You are absolutely right, because it's actually very shocking. We have raised this question in, we have asked about this to the mayor. When we asked this to the mayor, he said, in fact, he has forwarded the entire matter to the concerned authorities in Indore Municipal Corporation and also to the Commissioner of Indore Municipal Corporation, but no action was taken. So now it's simply a question of blame game. The mayor is saying that officials were not acting, and on the other hand, officials are making this or that act. This tender, which was
Manoj, we'll just reconnect that line with you. Thank you for joining us with those details. We've picked up more reactions. 14 lives lost, remember. Question being asked is who is to be blamed for the delay on part of those who were to fix responsibility here and to ensure that pipelines are changed and maintenance is ensured regularly. Listen in.
भागीरथपुरा में जहां बात हो रही है, उस जगह के लिए बकायदा नर्मदा की पाइपलाइन बदलने का टेंडर हो चुका था, वर्क ऑर्डर जारी हो चुके थे.
1700 करोड़ रुपए जारी हुए थे पेयजल योजना की विभिन्न स्तरों पर व्यवस्था के लिए, और जहां पर ये घटना हुई है वहां 6 महीने पहले वर्क ऑर्डर इश्यू हो गए थे, लेकिन 6 महीने तक 40,000 लोग गटर का पानी पीते रहे और 6 महीने तक इन्होंने पाइपलाइन ठीक नहीं की. और जो स्थानीय मंत्री हैं और जो जिम्मेदार लोग हैं, नगर निगम का जो मेयर है, डिप्टी मेयर है, कमिश्नर है, डिप्टी कमिश्नर है, इनकी कोई अकाउंटेबिलिटी और रिस्पांसिबिलिटी है कि नहीं?
बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है ये. और जहां हम अपनी सरकार को देखते हैं कि अपनी पीठ वो थपथपा रही हर बात पर, तो ये तो फंडामेंटल चीज़ है, सरकार का दायित्व है, सरकार की जिम्मेदारी है कि कम से कम जहरीला पानी, जहरीली हवा ये लोगों को ना मिले. और जिस देश में जहरीले पानी से लोग मर जाते हैं, छोटे छोटे बच्चे मर जाते हैं, बीमार हो जाते हैं, ये तो बहुत शर्म की बात है. इस पर तो हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने फौरन स्टेटमेंट देना चाहिए था कि हर बच्चे की जिंदगी बहुत अहम है और इसके लिए सरकार सबसे ज्यादा प्राथमिकता देगी.
न्यूज़ 18 की टीम भागीरथपुरा इलाके के उस गली में पहुंची जहां पर गंदे पानी की वजह से सबसे ज़्यादा लोग प्रभावित हुए. ये गली वही है, कई सारे लोग बीमार हैं और इसी गली की एक महिला की जान भी जा चुकी. उनका नाम है उर्मिला यादव. न्यूज़ 18 की टीम ने पड़ताल किया कि आखिर क्या वजह है कि नर्मदा का पानी दूषित हो गया. तो चलिए सबसे पहले एक तस्वीर आपको दिखाते हैं. इस वक्त हम जहां पर मौजूद हैं, इन तस्वीरों को अगर आप देखेंगे तो नीचे ड्रेनेज है, ये ड्रेनेज चैम्बर जो है वो तस्वीर आप देख रहे हैं. नीचे गंदा पानी बह रहा है, ड्रेनेज से वो गंदा पानी बह रहा है और उसके अगर ठीक ऊपर आप देखेंगे तो एक आपको और पाइपलाइन नज़र आ रहा है. ये पाइपलाइन नर्मदा का पाइपलाइन है और इसी से लोगों के घरों तक नर्मदा का पानी पहुंच रहा है. और साथ ये वही कारण है जिसके वजह से लोगों के घरों तक ये दूषित पानी पहुंचा और लोग बीमार हुए. एक और भी बात सामने आ रही है कि कुछ दिन पहले भागीरथपुरा इलाके में ड्रेनेज के लिए खुदाई की गई है और उस खुदाई के साथ में जहाँ पर वो ड्रेनेज लाइन डाली गई है, ठीक उसी के नीचे नर्मदा की पाइपलाइन भी है. दूसरा कारण ये भी है, उसकी वजह से ही पानी दूषित हो सकता है. डॉक्टर ये हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं. हालांकि आज भागीरथपुरा में 22 डॉक्टरों की टीम तैनात की गई है. पैरामेडिकल पूरा जो अमला है वो भागीरथपुरा में मौजूद है. घर घर जाकर स्क्रीनिंग की जा रही है. अगर किसी की तबीयत खराब है, उल्टी दस्त की शिकायत, उन्हें दवाइयाँ दी जा रही है. डॉक्टर साहब, आप यहाँ पहुँचे, कई सारे बच्चों को आपने चेक भी किया, उन्हें उल्टी दस्त की शिकायत है. सबसे पहले तो ये बताइए कि उन्हें क्या दवाई दी जा रही है और कितने ऐसे लक्षण आपको देखने को मिले?
हाँ, बच्चों में प्रायतः हमें दस्त दिखे गए हैं जिसमें बहुत ज़्यादा मात्रा में पानी आ रहा है और कुछ बच्चों को उल्टी की भी समस्या है, जिसके लिए हमने जिंक की दवा दी है, एक ORS का घोल दिया है और उन्हें हमें उल्टी की हमने दवा दी है, जैसे ओंडेन सिंड्रोम जो हो गई है. उस सब में देखा कि एज ग्रुप देखें तो जो हमारा 1 साल का बच्चा, 1.5 साल का बच्चा, 2 साल, डिफरेंट एज ग्रुप के बच्चे पीड़ित हैं दस्त स्कीमा। और उसका मुख्यतः कारण जो आपने बताया है, जो पानी की सप्लाई का जो है पाइप और तुम्हारा जो दूषित जो जा रहा है नाले का, वो दोनों मिक्स हो रहे हैं, उसके कारण वजह ऐसा हो सकता है।
The problem here is not just lack of clean drinking water, it's contaminated water which is finding its way into people's homes, leaving 14 dead and several others battling for their lives still. We are into a very short break. With that question, we'll be right back with lots more in just a minute.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Bulldozer action today against the homes of stone pelters involved in last week's mosque encroachment clash. Notices had been pasted on the houses of 24 accused stone pelters, giving them 3 days to respond. The deadline expired on December 31st, and with no satisfactory responses received, the municipal council began demolition action on the identified houses in Pathan Colony. So we have CNN News 18's Bhavani Singh Deora joining us live right now. Bhavani ji, good morning and thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. So were due legal procedures and individual hearings adequately followed before the demolition action were taken?
देखिए, पहले मैं आपको सीधे तस्वीरों की तरफ ले जाता हूं। चौमू के अंदर जो बुलडोजर एक्शन चल रहा है, ये वही इलाका है 7 दिन पहले जो कलिंद्री मस्जिद जिसको लेकर विवाद हुआ था। कलिंद्री मस्जिद के अंदर ये आरोप ये था कि पठान गली, इसके पीछे वाली गली है, यहाँ से पत्थरबाज आए थे और उन्होंने बड़े पत्थरबाजी की थी। उसके बाद में यहाँ पर
Welcome back. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired the landmark 50th meeting of Pragati, a multi-modal platform for proactive governance and timely implementation on 31st December, celebrating a decade of the information and communications tech-enabled platform that has successfully accelerated projects worth 85 lakh crore rupees. The Prime Minister reviewed 5 critical infrastructure projects involving over 40,000 crore rupees. Aman Sharma decodes the significance of the same in this report. Take a look.
This is the fascinating story how India has fixed its delay culture. Why do projects in India get stuck for decades? Why does a bridge take 20 years, an airport a generation, and a railway line half a lifetime? And more importantly, what finally makes them move? The Prime Minister on December 31st chaired the 50th meeting of Pragati, a platform that quietly changed how India governs, executes and delivers. That is why the Prime Minister said long pending projects were completed in national interest. One key point the Prime Minister underlined: Pragati is not Delhi commanding states, it is Team India working together. Since its inception, in fact, nearly 500 union secretaries and state chief secretaries have participated. States raise problems directly, centre resolves approvals, funds and clearances in real time. This is cooperative federalism, not on paper, but in execution. Governance isn't just infrastructure. Reviewing the PM Shri school scheme, for example, the Prime Minister was clear. These schools must become benchmarks, not showpieces. He directed that implementation must be outcome-driven, not infrastructure-centric. Chief secretaries must personally monitor progress. Senior officers should conduct field inspections, not desk reviews. Education, the PM said, cannot improve from files alone. For the next phase of Pragati, the Prime Minister laid down a clear doctrine. Reform to simplify, fewer procedures, faster decisions, perform to deliver, time, cost and quality treated equally, transform to impact.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Bulldozer action today against the homes of stone pelters involved in last week's mosque encroachment clash. Notices had been pasted on the houses of 24 accused stone pelters, giving them 3 days to respond. The deadline expired on December 31st, and with no satisfactory responses received, the municipal council began demolition action on the identified houses in Pathan Colony. So we have CNN News 18's Bhavani Singh Deora joining us live right now. Bhavani ji, good morning and thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. So were due legal procedures and individual hearings adequately followed before the demolition action were taken?
देखिए, पहले मैं आपको सीधे तस्वीरों की तरफ ले जाता हूं। चौमू के अंदर जो बुलडोजर एक्शन चल रहा है, ये वही इलाका है 7 दिन पहले जो कलिंद्री मस्जिद जिसको लेकर विवाद हुआ था। कलिंद्री मस्जिद के अंदर ये आरोप ये था कि पठान गली, इसके पीछे वाली गली है, यहाँ से पत्थरबाज आए थे और उन्होंने बड़े पत्थरबाजी की थी। उसके बाद में यहाँ पर उनको उस गली के अंदर 24 लोगों को नोटिस इशू किया गया अतिक्रमण बताते हुए कि उनके घरों के आगे रैंप बना लिए, दुकानों के आगे वो तोड़े जाएंगे। उसके
Welcome back. And months before IPL 2026, controversy has already started to engulf the tournament. 3-time champions Kolkata Knight Riders signed the Bangladeshi pacer Mustafizur Rahman for 9.2 crore rupees in IPL 2026 auction and are now getting everyday threats against playing him. Rahman is one of the most successful players to play for Bangladesh, representing them in 257 internationals. The left-arm quick has also played in 8 IPL seasons. This anti-Rahman sentiment stems from the violence and lynchings against Hindu minority in Bangladesh, and the backlash is manifested in several ways. Indian political figures, including BJP leader Sangeet Som, have labelled KKR co-owner Shah Rukh Khan a traitor for the signing and have publicly called for a ban on all Bangladeshi players in the IPL. While Shiv Sena UBT has also echoed similar sentiments, Congress, AIMIM have a different take. Congress has questioned IPL and BCCI allowing the overseas player. MIM has rhetorically questioned how does one's support matter in the field of cricket. First up, the reactions that have come in so far.
जिस तरीके से देश में गद्दार काम कर रहे हैं, उनकी भी ध्यान रखने की जरूरत है। कि आज बांग्लादेश में हिंदुओं का कत्लेआम किया जा रहा है, हिंदुओं का चुन चुन के घर में घुस के कत्ल किया जा रहा है, लेकिन अपने ही देश में बैठे हुए लोग वहां के क्रिकेटरों को खरीदने का काम कर रहे हैं। शाहरुख खान जैसे गद्दार आज वहां के रहमान जैसे क्रिकेटरों को 9.5 करोड़ में खरीदने का काम कर रहे हैं। मैं बताना चाहता हूं कि पाकिस्तान खेलने नहीं आ सकता, तो बांग्लादेश का खिलाड़ी भारत में कैसे खेलने आ सकता है, मैं पूछना चाहता हूं।
बांग्लादेश के अंदर जो हमारे हिंदू माइनॉरिटी के ऊपर अत्याचार हो रहा है, मैं इसकी कड़ी निंदा करता हूं, कंडेम करता हूं। किसी को भी कायदा कानून अपने हाथ में लेने का अधिकार नहीं है। हमारे भारत देश के अंदर भी इस तरह से मुस्लिम माइनॉरिटी के ऊपर अत्याचार होता है। और रहा सवाल ये क्रिकेट विकेट का, तो उसमें तो देखिए मैं किसी का ना समर्थन में ना अगेंस्ट में, मगर भारत सरकार ने थोड़े ही वक्त पहले इंडिया पाकिस्तान की मैच करा दी। हमने तो ऑब्जेक्ट किया था कि पाकिस्तान आतंकवादी गतिविधियों में मुब्तला है, आतंकवादियों को बढ़ावा देता है, जिसका खामियाजा भारत भुगत चुका है। हमने पुलवामा देखा, 26/11 देखा, पहलगाम हुआ, फिर भी भारत ने उनके साथ पाकिस्तान का क्रिकेट मैच खेला चुनिंदा रुपयों के लिए। नहीं होना चाहिए ना, वारिस पड़न तो थूकता है ऐसे रुपयों के लिए जहां पर मेरे देश की मान मर्यादा का सवाल आ जाए।
देखिए, इसमें भाजपा का नेता क्या कहेगा? इस देश के करोड़ करोड़ हिंदू कहेंगे। भाजपा कौन सा है हिंदुओं का सबसे बड़ा ठेकेदार? भाजपा कौन सा सर्टिफिकेट है? हम भाजपा को एक पल साइड हटाइए, एक हिंदू होने के नाते, एक सनातनी होने के नाते, एक शिवसैनिक होने के नाते हम सब निषेध करेंगे। हाँ, अगर शाहरुख खान ने उसको अपनी टीम से हटाया तो हम सब उसका सम्मान भी करेंगे, हम सब उसको गौरव भी देंगे, हम सब उसको मान भी करेंगे। लेकिन अगर वो उसको खिलाएगा, पैसे कमाएगा और उस पैसे से आतंकवादी वहाँ पलेंगे पोसेंगे, वहाँ हमारे देश के खिलाफ षड्यंत्र करेंगे, ये हम होने नहीं देंगे, कतई नहीं होने देंगे।
बीजेपी के नेता हैं संगीत सोम, उन्होंने शाहरुख खान को कहा है कि वो गद्दार हैं क्योंकि केकेआर की टीम ने वहाँ के एक बांग्लादेश के प्लेयर को उन्होंने अपनी टीम में लिया, उसे खरीदा है।
देखिए, इस पर मैं तो कोई टिप्पणी नहीं करूँगा क्योंकि मैंने उस बयान को अभी देखा नहीं है, लेकिन ये सही है कि बांग्लादेश में जिस प्रकार से अल्पसंख्यक हिंदुओं के साथ जो व्यवहार हो रहा है, वो बांग्लादेश की सरकार की जिम्मेदारी है कि इस प्रकार की व्यवस्था बने कि जिसमें अल्पसंख्यक सुरक्षित हों। लेकिन अफसोस की बात यह है कि हिंदुस्तान के इतने विपक्षी दल हैं, एक भी उनके समर्थन में नहीं खड़ा हो रहा है, लेकिन हमारी सरकार ने तत्काल इसका संज्ञान लिया है।
So there are several voices who have come out and raised strong objection to the inclusion of a Bangladeshi cricketer in Kolkata Knight Riders team. It's months to go before IPL 2026 officially begins, but this controversy once again brewing in India. It all began with the BJP leader Sangeet Som calling Shah Rukh Khan a traitor over the KKR inductions this time. Do remember, KKR is co-owned by Shah Rukh Khan himself, and the signing of Bangladeshi pacer Mustafizur Rahman has stoked this controversy now. And you heard the BJP leader there speak at a public gathering. He said that this kind of an inclusion should be opposed, that he would oppose the participation of Bangladeshi players on Indian soil. The contrary view to that has been raised by some, including AIMIM leaders, who say if cricket could be played with Pakistan after the Pahalgam attack, why is this a problem? I do want to go across to CNN News 18's Pallavi Ghosh, who joins us live from Dhaka. Pallavi, how do you look at this unfolding? One big criticism that's come in for BJP leaders and those supporting the boycott of Bangladeshi players is that we did play against Pakistan in Asia Cup after the Pahalgam attack.
And when I did speak to a representative of the Bangladesh Cricket Board, they told me that you cannot equate Pakistan with Bangladesh. Pakistan, according to India, is enemy country also because they have been